This video was inspired by Jilly, Anais, and Deshawn Watson. Deshawn, I think, football player who was accused of several allegations of sexual misconduct and paid off. Doesn't mean he did it, right? But when there are so many for one man, I often say there are lots of men who never get a sexual allegation against them, which doesn't mean that they didn't do anything. But when there are multiples, I do think it's a huge red flag. And it reminds me of I think it was a football player who punched his wife in the face and knocked her out. And well, actually, I think they were engaged and still married him. And they're still married to this day. Now, that man may have gotten better. It's very unlikely. And similarly, in this situation with Miss Jilly, I do not think she is the exception, right? Women often think they are the exception. So the question, why do women partner with violent and abusive men, like who are known publicly or have admitted that they are violent and abusive? I have 5 reasons here. And I also have 5 different couples other than Jilly that we're going to use as examples for why women would choose a man who has done horrendous things. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Shareece. I help Black men and women heal from trauma and toxic relationships. And the first reason I have on my list about why women choose these terrible men is that they have low self-worth. Now, I did another video on self-worth, giving, the definitions, and it's really about what women feel they deserve. And so the example I have, even though I don't think she's with him anymore, is Tamar and JR. I did another video on Tamar actually, right? Where it wasn't really about her, but using her as an example to demonstrate low self-worth, that a woman can be smart and brilliant and have high self-confidence and even have high self-esteem, right? Think really highly of herself, want to present herself in a certain way and brag about like how great she is. But what she feels she deserves is another layer of who you are as a person, your self-concept. And if you do not have really strong core beliefs that are positive about yourself, you are going to take whatever. Like you're going to take scraps and believe that you're getting a full buffet. And so the answer to this really is you need to explore like who you are and what you value and these thoughts that you continue to think about yourself, because they are the driving force behind your beliefs and your behaviors in these toxic relationships. So Tamar thought she was with a good man. Like, why are you with this terrible man? Well, I thought he was a good man because of her low self-worth. The next reason I think women are in relationships with violent men is that they think they can fix them. So this is one of the core beliefs of women who love too much. The core principles in the book Women Who Love Too Much is that women often pick a man that they can fix or that they can exercise some control on, like they're micromanaging his life as a way to distract from their own issues. The people I chose for this were Meagan Good and Jonathan Majors, because how satisfying must it be for Meagan to swoop in Jonathan Majors' life at that very moment and be receiving all of this praise? Because even though there have been a lot of critiques, there are a lot of people who view the self-sacrifice of a Black woman for a Black man as a positive thing. And so to get all this praise from a specific group of Black people that you're doing such a great thing because Jonathan Majors is such a pillar in the community or has this potential to go really far, she probably feels very good about being able to be the one to help and support him. Right? If I can help fix your life, then I'll feel great about myself. That's one of the lies women tell themselves when they pick terrible men. And the red flags are there from the very beginning, right? He was physically assaulting, right? He was found liable or whatever it was with the court case that he had. He harmed that woman physically. We heard him on tape saying these creepy, weird things about his Coretta. He wants to be able to control a woman so that he can control the way the narrative is about him so that he can extract the resources that he wants from Hollywood. It's very disturbing. And the fact that they got married, because I did think, she was just playing a role. I did think when they got together that she just felt good about being attached to him as the loyal Black woman in the Black community. The fact that they legally binded this, I think is one of the strangest things, but it all fits with a woman who loves too much and puts other people before her and is in denial about what she needs to work on in her own life. Such is life. She could go to therapy and work those things out, but unless people really want to change, then nothing's going to be different. The next one I have on the list is these women think they are the exception. And the example couple, not a couple anymore, that I have is Porsha and Simon. I wonder if Portia really thought she was getting a fairy tale. Because I think on one hand, she thought, I'm going to ride this till the wheels fall off. Maybe she thought it would last 3 years, maybe 7. I don't think she thought it would just be 18 months or 15, whatever it was. I don't think she thought it was going to be so short. And then I also think she really thought she was going to get something financially out of this relationship. When you look at the fact that Simon was married 3, 4 times before Portia, and those women got nothing, I think maybe his first wife got money, but Simon has been a scammer for a long time. He is acting no different now than he did when he divorced whatever that girl name was, the girl that showed up on Real Housewives of Atlanta that he was married to at the time, that Portia then swooped in and took that lady's husband on her Hennessy, like Ronnie the Voice likes to say. She really thought that she could get one up on him. This man, who was scamming before I was born, scamming while Portia was in diapers. You know what I mean? He has been doing this for a long time. He is not a good person. He doesn't give people what they deserve. He tries to extract benefits out of people without reciprocating, which is even what he did to his own lawyer. He did it in business by taking all this money and loans and all the private jets and all those things and not paying his bill. You are not the exception. You won't be the exception. The way a person does one thing is how they do anything, because we have these core values, the way we see ourselves, the way we perceive the world. We treat people kind of the same, just depending on if one of his core values is, I'm just going to take what I can get from people. If he can get a lot from you, he might give you a little bit more than he typically would, but he's still not going to give you like what would be an appropriate exchange for the experience that he's getting. He really did to Portia what he's done to all his other wives. And Portia thought she was going to be special, right? I think she thought that, we are also having this third African wedding thing, and I really love him and he loves me, and this is going to be different. It was the same. It was the same. And then in the end, she really gets like no money, like no money. I like Portia. I think this is not about Portia, but I think Portia went into the prenup thinking that she was, if this went south, at least I'll be protected this way. But did she really bank on Simon having a terrible mortgage for the home? Did she really bank on Simon not paying his lawyer? Like, Simon was always like steps ahead. And it's really unfortunate, because when you try to tell women, he's going to treat you the way he treated like all the other women. If he hasn't, then enough time hasn't passed yet, or whatever that he was getting and not getting, like he's still happy. So things appear to be good, but eventually the mask will come off and he will show you that he never really cared about you. He cared about the ways that you could benefit him. It's like a similar thing with Young Miami and Diddy, because if we waited long enough, right, you were in that relationship, you literally would have the same ending to the story as all these other women. There's no exceptions. I mean, there's always an exception, but men are very consistent. The next reason I have for why women stay with terrible men is that they need a man to validate them. Like, need it like the air that they breathe. They feel so inadequate without a man that the thought of being single or not being with this specific man who's validated them for however long feels like a death to them. The couple I have is Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug, because this man has shown himself to be so terrible. But you are a ride or die, my man, my man, my man. He doesn't care about you, laughs at you. He is consciously harming you, doing harmful things to you actively, and then laughing about it. That's also like the low self-worth piece, but it's like so clear that Mariah the Scientist has something else going on where she can't seem to let go of this man, even though he's so terrible for her. Now, I think she did allude to on Twitter maybe that she is breaking up with him or is done with him, but I would find it very hard to believe. The amount of work you would have to do to get out of a relationship like that, like me being out of an abusive relationship that the man wasn't rich or well known, it was already so hard, like being so wrapped up in getting the feedback and feeling like there's no love or nothing special like this one person. I think it takes a lot of internal work. And I would find it very hard to believe that Mariah, the scientist, has done this sort of work. But I am rooting for all the women who are looking outside of themselves for validation. And the world tells us that we need a man, that we need approval from the patriarchy, that men need to view our decisions as good in order for us to be doing them. And that is a lie from the pits of hell. Whatever makes you happy, as long as you are not harming other people, is what you need to do. And one of the best things you can do for yourself is to decenter men from your life. Make yourself the center of your life. You fall in love with yourself and your interests and your hobbies and what you really want to design your life to look like. And men and their perspectives and their opinions and whatever will have much less control about what you do with your life and how far you go in your life than if you do the opposite. Okay. And the last one on my list is they share the same values. Women are with terrible men because they share the same values. She is just as trash as him. Okay. And honestly, I feel like I have so many examples. The one I wrote down is Usha and Vance, right? You're looking at this Indian American woman or Southeast Asian, I don't know how she identifies, a woman who's with this white supremacist, and you're like, why, how? But if you really understand Indian culture, caste system, those values that they bring to the United States, she probably hates those people too, right? She probably feels more aligned with whiteness than not, now that she has like white adjacent children. But I was also thinking about Beyonce and Jay-Z. Beyonce has a very similar politic as Jay-Z. I remember when this second tour that came out, well, Cowboy Carter, and I looked at it. I said, okay, Beyonce, why are you cosplaying as a rodeo girl? You know what I mean? I know she's from Houston and I know she's like part country, all those things. But at this point, she's so far removed from that it almost comes off as a gimmick, especially when all these people are coming to your concert wearing like rodeo hats and boots and all those things. And then to also, and I love Beyonce. Okay. I love Beyonce, but I mean, she's with Jay-Z. And I think it's because she feels the same way he does about politics and capitalism and money, which is why she's also, right, okay to be seen at the same table with Ivanka Trump and her husband. I think that was so gross. I thought it was so gross. But billionaires are going to do what billionaires do, and that's look out for themselves. And that's been very clear. But the point I was going to make was like, even about like her coming out with the perfume after that. Yeah, I bought the perfume. Yeah, I like the smell of it. But I'm not going to act like these people have not prioritized money overall. Like, I know they have a family, but Jay-Z cheated on his family, so he can't value it that much. One thing that is very clear that both of them value is money. And for, I mean, rich people to become so rich, I do think you have to, I don't want to demonize like rich people. I'm not talking about people who are like 10 million, whatever. I'm talking about the uber rich, the 0.001% of people who just hoard wealth. Like to work nonstop, to harm your body in all those kinds of ways, to to sacrifice everything for money. It takes a certain kind of person. And I do think the partners of those people share the same values. I think they share the same values. And that's why you'll be with a terrible man who, like Jay-Z could have done the DNA testing. He could have not done the fake what was it, Bitcoin, whatever in the project. Like there are so many things that he could do differently. There's so many things that Beyonce could advise him on or encourage him to do, but she does a very similar thing. It's just that it's aesthetically pleasing to us, but it's just very similar, right? They have a similar politic, and you can think about a lot of those. Like even the Erica Kirk lady, who's Kirk. What was the man name? Charlie Kirk, wife. Probably believe the same things as the man. A lot of these white women believe the same things. They worship whiteness. They don't worship God. They worship whiteness, and they think everyone should fall in line with what they believe. I mean, it's sad, but it's the truth about why some women are with terrible men and have no intentions of leaving. There are a lot of benefits to them, whether it's the outward facing, you get to be called a wife and get the privileges of being coupled up and the praise of being married because we've assigned some sort of moral value to it, or there's the monetary things on the back end. People have their reasons. Doesn't stop the people from being trash people. Maybe you in your own life can view yourself as maybe pursuing some of these things, some of these reasons for wanting to be in a relationship, even though you've heard like really negative things about the man. You think you're gonna be the exception, or you've been, seeking the validation of men. Like it might still be a chance for you, girl, to get out of denial and change your life and do things differently and really make yourself the center of your world, and what you like and your opinions about yourself outweigh anything anyone else has to say. That's what I'm hoping with this video and my channel in general, that women really feel empowered to live lives that bring joy and peace to them. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hype this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and thank you for watching.